What's going on, Giants fans, and welcome to Giants Report number one. I'm going to be doing just different reactions to moves the Giants make, or news that comes up and whatnot. And we've had a pretty interesting offseason so far. We get into the cuts. Brad Wing is gone, and DRC is gone, unfortunately. Brad Wing was last in the league in net average for punts, so kind of expected that one. But DRC was surprising. He's a guy who everyone in that locker room loved and was a good performer on the field, but he was taking up $6.5 million, and with his age, he's a little over 30. I guess Gettleman did not feel it was worth it, and that's just the way Gettleman handles veteran players based off his track record. And I'm gonna miss DRC for sure. I mean, he's been visiting the Redskins. I hope he doesn't stay in the division. I don't want to face him, but he definitely will be missed. And thank you, DRC, for a great 4 years. Of course, the Giants made a trade for Alec Ogletree, and we can finally say we have a pretty good linebacker for the first time since probably Antonio Pierce, maybe? I don't know if it's been that long, but it probably has been, honestly. We have not had a guy this talented, and I'm very excited about it. The trade was we gave the Rams our fourth and sixth rounder, we received their seventh rounder, and of course, Ogletree in return. There were some mixed reactions to this. I saw Ogletree is in his mid 20s, and the Rams just didn't want to pay his contract. He's a great leader, big guy, big hitter. I think he brings the energy that you want and need on a defense. So I'm very excited for this move, and hopefully he can kind of just be a different guy and just more explosive here in New York. I don't know what happened last year on the Rams. He wasn't as productive, but hopefully this new team will energize him and become the player that he once was. So let's get into free agent signings, and the first one was a move I was not a big fan of, not gonna lie. Jonathan Stewart, who is going to be 31, actually very soon. I think like within a week he'll be 31 years old. I think this was just Gettleman loved him, and Gettleman obviously was his general manager in Carolina, and after reading about Stewart and seeing things on Twitter, he seems like a great leader and just a great locker room guy. So having the presence of positive players and good personalities is huge in the NFL. But I'm not a fan of the money they gave Stewart. It's 2 years and $7 million. I think that's a little too much and a little pricey for a guy who is that age of 31, and 30 is the age where running backs tend to fall off. It's just the way it is in the NFL. Stewart claims he has a lot left in the tank based off reading his quotes, and I hope he's right. But I think this puts a little hold on the Saquon Barkley truthers for the Giants, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But you have Stewart and Wayne Gallman now, and I honestly think that that can be a good enough backfield. We've seen teams that have two running backs, whether it's the Saints or the Falcons. You just need two good running backs to coexist and share the ball. And I think Stewart and Gallman could do that. I think Gallman is overlooked, honestly. He averaged over 4 a carry behind our awful offensive line last year, so that should tell you something. And Jonathan Stewart, who's definitely on the back half of his career, I hope he does have something left in the tank, as he said. But if you split carries with these guys, they can definitely get the job done, and they should be fine. So for the people that are 100% sold on Saquon Barkley at number 2, let me just go over these stats real quick. I will not name the player yet. I'll kind of let you guess to yourselves here. So in 2016, this player had 278 carries, 885 yards at 3.2 per carry. The next year, same player, same team, 279 carries, so just one more carry than the previous year, over 1,300 yards and 4.7 a carry, including 7 more touchdowns. Now, if you guessed that the player is Todd Gurley, you are correct. And the thing about Todd Gurley is he was not a different player in 2016 and 2017. The thing that was the difference was the line in front of him. And that's what I've been trying to tell Giants fans that are so in love with Saquon Barkley. And hey, so am I. I mean, the kid is impressive. I saw his combine. I've seen his highlights. He's going to be a ridiculous player in the NFL. Is it worth taking him over a quarterback? No, absolutely not. You have to look at the pick. It's a second overall pick, not a second round pick. And when you have a 37-year-old quarterback and a backup in Davis Webb who was not active at all last year, this was a team that was 3-13. They were not in the running for the playoffs. The Giants' season was over by like week 6 or 7 last year, and Davis Webb was not active. I mean, you guys really think he's going to be the guy? I don't think so. If Geno Smith is suiting up over you, I think you have to reevaluate who your future quarterback is. And for running backs, so much of their success depends on the guys in front of them, and that's just what I want to stress to people. You can be the most talented running back in the world. If you don't have the guys in the right system and whatnot, you're not going to be able to maximize your talents. And, having a great quarterback is a game changer and a guy that can change your franchise for 10 to 15, maybe 20 years. I just don't think it's worth passing on, especially where there's about 4 quarterbacks who we could take at 2 and can potentially be, franchise changing guys. Imagine handing it off from Eli and, let's hypothetically say we get Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, or Baker Mayfield, or, hell, even Josh Allen. I don't care. Um, you know, if we hand them the torch and they do amazing things, the Giants will look like a genius franchise. But if not, and these 4 quarterbacks we pass up on, and if a couple of them end up being franchise guys, I mean, this will haunt us for years and years and years. And I don't want to end up like the Jets, who have relied on veteran trash quarterbacks for like the last 5, 6 years and never get anywhere, or end up drafting, a Christian Hackenberg and never finding your guy. I want a great quarterback in here now. And whether he has to sit behind Eli for a year or two, fine. But at least have that guy. This is your opportunity at the second overall pick to make it happen. There are plenty of other great running backs in this draft that can be about 80% of what Saquon Barkley is. And as I said, I like Wayne Gallman. I think Jonathan Stewart is serviceable. He'll be fine. And, guys like Ronald Jones, Darius Kites, you can get in the second, third round. And I think it'll be totally worth it. So the Giants can make this work even without getting Saquon Barkley. And I took a lot of heat last video for wanting Baker Mayfield to come to the Giants, and rightfully so. I mean, people have much different opinions of Baker. He seems like a guy you either love or you hate, and I completely get it. But if the Giants were to take Rosen or Darnold, I would not be mad either. I'd actually be very satisfied with that. I just love Baker's competitiveness and whatnot. But if we take one of those 3 guys, or if the Giants are very sold on Josh Allen being the guy, because he does have a very impressive arm and he's athletic, not the most accurate, but if they feel that they can fix that problem, then hell, take Josh Allen. I mean, it's fine. I just don't think taking a running back, running back is a position where you can maybe get 7 or 8 really good years out of a guy. But quarterback, the longevity of that position as compared to running back, quarterbacks last like twice as long. It's by far the most important position on the football field. You look at the Green Bay Packers last year. Aaron Rodgers is, the most talented player in this league. I don't care what anybody says. When you took Aaron Rodgers off the Packers, they were complete garbage. And the Packers roster is not that good. But when you have Aaron Rodgers there, there's a reason they make the playoffs every year. It is not the whole team itself, it's one guy. And that one guy being the quarterback. So if the Giants end up taking a great quarterback after Eli Manning, imagine how great we'll be for the next 15 to 20 years. It will absolutely be worth it. And for the fans that still want a running back, I really don't understand your stance, because hell, there's many great running backs in this draft. You don't need to take the top guy because it's just not worth it. So anyway, for the free agent signings, I'm doing this video in what's today's date? I believe it's March 16th or something like that. Yeah, March 16th. So we signed 5 key free agents at this point, I would say, and the first one being Jonathan Stewart. I said I was not too happy with the numbers on this contract. I think $7 million is a little too much for a guy of his age and his skill set at this point in his career. But if Gettleman feels he'll really improve the locker room, then fine, so be it. Next was a big one, Nate Solder. 4 years, $60 million. A lot of money. He's the highest paid left tackle in the league now. And, you kind of just have to do it. I mean, the Giants were definitely in a bidding war with the Texans. They lost Dwayne Brown last year, and they needed a left tackle for Deshaun Watson. and of course the Patriots wanted him back as well. So it was kind of a bidding war for him. And I give Gettleman a lot of props for being able to acquire Nate Soldier and giving him this contract. I mean, it may come back to bite you in the ass. I'm not gonna lie, but for now, it's a good move. And Eric Flowers is not our left tackle next year, so hey, that's great. I mean, I'll take it. Kareem Martin was signed. He was drafted in the third round in 2014 by the Cardinals and played under James Bettcher. That's why I think he came here, honestly. He was given a 3-year, $21 million deal. Good amount of money, but, the guy's a beast. I mean, I haven't really watched him play, honestly, but they say he's a big hitter and has a lot of potential. He's 26 years old. Um, Also, we have Teddy Williams, who we got from the Panthers. He's just known as a speedster. He's a corner. Was brought in for 1 year, 880,000. So I don't really know what the expectations are, but um, when your depth chart consists of Janoris Jenkins and Eli Apple, you better have some backups. And the last guy, hopefully I pronounced his name right, Patrick Omame. I hope I nailed that one. He's a left guard, formerly of the Jaguars, who stole our Andrew Norwell, which I am pretty salty about, but it is what it is. And so we get Omame for 3 years. Not sure of the numbers yet, but I don't know if he'll be the starter or not. But hypothetically, if the season were to start tomorrow, he would be our starting left guard. So I believe we'll draft some offensive linemen, and there's going to be competition. So we'll see what happens with that. So a few other notes to get into. So of course there's the Odell Beckham video with the whole cocaine blunt in hand or crust in hand, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's not that big of a deal, but for Odell, I mean, this might be like a killer for your contract. I mean, definitely not the smartest thing to do. In a time where you're saying I want to be like the highest paid player in football, or you're wanting 20 mil plus a year. Being caught in a video like this, definitely not a good look, and it's probably going to put a hold on the contract talks if they were even having them at this point. Um, so I mean, for the team, I don't think it does much. I mean, this is kind of what's expected for a guy at his age and living the kind of rock star life he lives. And I just hope he's able to pass any drug test that he's given, because that would really suck if he was suspended. But hopefully he'll come out clean, and this will be forgotten by the time the season starts, which I expect to happen. So I think for now we just have to overlook it and say it's a mistake, and hopefully he learns from it. Um, there was that Davis Webb video of him throwing, and people were hyping him up, of course, making 10-yard slant and curl throws that I think anyone could make. And, these Giant fans make me laugh about, like, just how they think Davis Webb is so great and whatnot. But, I think otherwise, obviously. I have a different opinion than most when it comes to that. And, of course, the Honey Badger was released by the Cardinals, and people are saying, bring him back with James Bettcher, and it would be a great fit in New York, and I agree, it would. I think bringing him here would be incredible, but can they make it work financially? I'm not sure. Most likely, Eli Manning's contract will come off the Bucks next year, so that'll be a big salary clearance for us, and maybe they can make it work if it's a backloaded type of contract. But I'm not getting my hopes up about it. It would be nice. I think there's probably like a 25% chance we land him at this point. I think the Packers and the Jets or something are in it. I would hate if he went to the Jets, but it gives us some hope. And I also read something that Pat Shurmur talked to Eric Flowers that he will be at right tackle, or at least competing for right tackle next year. So I mean, that's pretty much the extra like news and notes for the Giants. So thank you for listening or watching, whatever you want to call it. Of course, comment and give me your opinions about what the Giants should do. I'm always interested to hear. And I'll come out with a video probably after or maybe before the draft. We'll see what happens. So thanks for watching.